Hello friends, myself Subhash Nagarse from Sri Digambar Jain Gurukul High School, Solapur. I say welcome to all of you in this 10th standard Science and Technology part 1st. The topic is gravitation part 3. In this session we are going to discuss with Earth's gravitational force, Earth's gravitational acceleration and variation in the value of z. Friends, in the previous session of this topic, that is gravitation part 2, we have been discussed with Kepler's laws and the Newton's universal law of gravitation. Today in this session we are going to discuss on the following important subtopics, that is Earth's gravitational force, Earth's gravitational acceleration, value of z on the surface of the Earth, variation in the value of z. Let us start with the Earth's gravitational force. Friends, this Earth's gravitational force. Will the velocity of stone thrown vertically upward remains constant, or will it change with time? How will it change? Why doesn't the stone move up all the time? Why does it fall down after reaching a certain height? What does its maximum height depends on? Friends, these questions should certainly arise in our mind. First of all, first question, that is, will the velocity of some stone that is thrown vertically upward remain constant, or will it change with time? The velocity of a stone thrown vertically upward decreases with time till it becomes zero. Second question, how will it change? When a stone is thrown vertically up, it is acted upon by a gravitational force of the earth, which constantly tries to pull the stone down. Due to the constant downward pull, the velocity of the stone becomes zero after reaching certain height. Once the velocity becomes zero, the gravitational force acting on the stone causes it to start moving vertically downwards. Why does not the stone move up all the time? Why does it fall down after reaching a certain height? What does its maximum height depends on? That is, the maximum height of the stone can actually depends on the initial velocity with which the stone is thrown vertically upward. The earth attracts every object near it towards itself because of the gravitational force. The stone of mass of the earth is situated at its center. So, the gravitational force on the object due to the earth is always directed towards the center of the earth. Because of this, the force, an object falls vertically downward on the earth. Friends, similarly, when we throw a stone vertically upwards, this force tries to pull it down and reduces its velocity. Due to this constant downward pull, the velocity becomes zero after a while. The pull continues to be exerted and the stone starts moving vertically downwards towards the center of the earth under its influence. According to the Newton's law of gravitation, every object attracts every other object. So friend, thus, if the earth attracts the apple towards itself, the apple also attracts the earth towards itself with the same force. Why then does the apple fall towards the earth, but the earth does not move towards the apple? This is simply, we come to know, due to the mass of the objects. The gravitational force due to the earth also acts upon the moon, because of which it revolves around the earth. Similar situation exists for the artificial satellites orbiting the earth. The moon and the artificial satellites orbit the earth. So the earth attracts them towards itself, but unlike the falling apple, they do not fall on the earth. Why? This is because of the velocity of the moon and the satellite along their orbits. If this velocity was not there, they would have fallen on the earth. So friends, now Earth's gravitational acceleration. The earth exerts gravitational force on the objects near it. According to the Newton's second law of motion, a force acting on a body results in its acceleration. Thus, the gravitational force due to the earth on the body results in its acceleration. This is called acceleration due to gravity and is denoted by letter z. Acceleration is a vector. So as the gravitational force on any object due to the earth is directed towards the center of the earth, the direction of the acceleration due to gravity is also directed towards the center of the earth, that is in the vertically downward direction. Now think about it, that what would happen if there were no gravity? If gravitational force ceased to exist on earth, then all the objects will no longer be drawn towards each other and the earth. Objects not being attracted to the earth along with humans would float off into space away from the surface of the earth. Secondly, the important these constituents of the earth, including the atmosphere and the water from the ocean, sea, etc., would also float into space. The moon would stop orbiting the earth and would drift in the space. What would happen if the value of z was twice as large? Friends, here, if the value of this g, capital G, were to be doubled, then the weight of all the objects on the earth will become double, making simple tasks like picking an object difficult. Friends, human body weight will become twice the original. Our body will be strained to support the increase in weight. The atmosphere air pressure would increase, leading to various climates changes. To counter this change in air pressure, the blood pressure of the human would be increased, making it hard to survive on the earth. Various structures like houses, bridges, dams, etc. would collapse due to the increase in weight. The Earth's orbit around the Sun will be affected, which will result in these catastrophic climatic changes. Friends, now value of g on the surface of the Earth. We can calculate the value of g by using Newton's universal law of gravitation for an object of mass m situated at a distance r from the center of the Earth. The law of gravitation gives us that F is equal to capital G m upon r square. Equation 3. Here m is the mass of the Earth. But we know that F is equal to m into g. From this 3 and 4, mg will be g mm upon r square. From these two equations, we can write this one. So g will be gm upon r square. Mm get cancelled from the both side of this equation. So if the object is situated on the surface of the Earth, r is equal to capital R, that is the radius of the Earth. Thus, the value of g on the surface of the Earth is g is equal to gm upon r square. Equation 6. So the unit of g in the SI is a meter per second square. The mass of the radius of the Earth are 6 into 10 to the power 26 kg and 6.4 into 10 to the power 6 meter respectively. Using these values in this equation 6, we are getting the value of g as 6.67 into 10 to the power this minus 11 into 6 into 10 to the power 24 upon 6.4 into 10 to the power 6 bracket is to square. That leads to the value of g as a 9.77 meter per second square. Friends, this acceleration depends only on the mass m and the radius r of the Earth, and so the acceleration due to gravity at a given point on the Earth is the same for all objects. It does not depend on the properties of the object. Variation in the value of z. Change along the surface of the Earth. Will the value of g be the same everywhere on the surface of the Earth? The answer is no. The reason is that the shape of the Earth is not exactly spherical, so the distance of the point on the surface of the Earth from its center differs somewhat from the place to place. Due to its rotation, the Earth bulges at the equator and is flatter at the poles. Its radius is largest at the equator and smallest at the poles. So the value of g is thus highest to 9.832 meter per second square at the poles and decreases slowly with increasing in the latitude. So it is the lowest at the 9.78 meter per second square at the equator. Changing with height. As we go above the surface of the Earth, the value of r in the equation 5 increases and the value of g decreases. However, the decrease is rather smaller for heights which are small in comparison to the Earth's radius. For example, remember that the radius of the Earth is 6400 km. If an aeroplane is flying at a height of 10 km above the surface of the Earth, its distance from the Earth's surface changes from 6400 km to 6410 km, and the change in the value of g due to its negligible. On the other hand, when we consider an artificial satellite orbiting the Earth, we have to take into account the changes in the value of g due to the large change in the distance of the satellite from the center of the Earth. Some typical heights and the values of the g at these heights are given in the following table. So here you could see the place and the height increment. Surface of the Earth 0, 9.8 meter per second square. Mount Everest 8.8 mega height, and g is 9.8 meter per second square. Maximum height reached by the man-made balloon 36.6 and g value 9.77. Height of the typical weather satellite, that is 400 kilometer, 8.7 meter per second square, and height of the communication satellite is 35,700 kilometer, and the value of g at 0.225 meter per second square. Friends, now change with the depth. The value of g also changes if we go inside the Earth. The value of this r in the equation 5 decreases, and one would think that the value of g should be increased as per the formula. However, the part of the Earth which contributes towards the gravitational force felt by the object also decreases, which means that the value of m to be used in equation 5 also decreases. So, as a combined result of this change in r and m, the value of g decreases as we go deep inside the Earth. Friends, you have to think about it that will the direction of the gravitational force changes as we go inside the Earth? There will be no change in the direction of the gravitational force since gravitational force always acts downwards towards the center of the Earth. What will be the value of g at the center of the Earth? For this, we can say that the value of g at the center of the Earth, you can say it will be 0, we could say. Every planet and satellite has a different mass and radius, hence according to the equation g is equal to gm upon r square. The value of g on the surface of the Earth are different. On the Moon it is about 1/6 of the value of the Earth. As a result, using the same amount of this force, we can jump 6 times higher on the Moon as compared to that of the Earth. So friends, thank you for watching this video. We'll meet in the next video. Till that, bye.